3 words we never want to hear. I remember when. My name's Ingrid Marker and I live in the heart of the Wet Tropics World Heritage of Far North Queensland, Australia, and I believe this is a privilege. I don't own any domestic predatory animals and enjoy sharing this space with endangered wildlife. For 25 years I've lived with wild cassowaries as visitors to my property on a regular basis. I'm not an academic. I am, however, a person who knows and understands wild cassowary behaviour, having observed and recorded individuals and a family of 7 cassowaries for decades. Avalon is a local matriarch, and she belongs to a species that has evolved as a large flightless bird over millions of years in the absence of natural predators. They are of fundamental importance to the ecology of our rainforests, creeks and river systems, and therefore the health of the Great Barrier Reef. Cassowaries have no night vision. In the daylight, however, they can run at speed, but only over short distances. Cassowaries sleep on the ground at night, and this makes them very vulnerable to attack by introduced predators. Avalon and her mate Ishmael have enjoyed a successful breeding relationship for many decades. Females will also breed with other males within their territory, thus spreading the gene pool. Chicks are predominantly raised by the male, although not always. Sometimes the females will adopt. Experienced males like Ishmael make exceptional fathers. They protect the chicks from their natural predators, goannas and snakes. Ishmael is particularly diligent at listening for messy eaters in the canopy, like fig birds and cockatoos and parrots, who drop the fruit to the forest floor, and thus the cassowary chicks can pick it up and eat. On the 3rd of February 2011, we were hit by Cyclone Yasi. It was the most devastating cyclone in local recorded history. The sound was terrifying, the damage was catastrophic. We were left only with the sound of silence, the smell of death, and rotting vegetation. It engulfed me. I was in shock and in grief from the destruction. The cassowary survived the cyclone, however. I only imagine that they sheltered in the creeks and the valleys. This highlighted to me the urgent need for conservation over large areas of habitat and along riparian corridors to sustain these iconic birds and other threatened species. This is Princess Tara. She's a lost little brown chick that I watched grow into a healthy subadult. Cassowaries are a keystone species, and they're of significant rainforest dispersal agent as the seeds are passed whole. This revegetates the landscape, keeping the ecology diverse. Slowly life returned, and as the rainforest regenerated, the cassowary family started breeding. The robustness of this natural ecosystem to restore and to rejuvenate gave me the strength and optimism to rebuild my home. Cassowaries love swimming, and they love lots of water to drink. This is Toto in Kansas, the young stripies, now grown and 6 months old and changing colour. Unfortunately, this is the last photo I was ever to take of them, as that night the unthinkable happened. A pack of roaming domestic dogs ran through my property straight into the protected wet tropics that area that night and attacked Ishmael and the chicks on their nest where they were sleeping. I heard them being mauled, but I was powerless to stop them. I was soon to learn the law entrusted with protecting cassowaries is ineffective with ambiguous wording. This allowed the attacks to continue for months until all 7 of the cassowaries, the entire family, was killed. If they were displaced, to where? As they are penned in by roads, development and agriculture. I caught 2 of the dogs in a Queensland Parks and Wildlife Service trap. As these dogs were collared, they were given to council. Council returned the dogs to the owners without a fine. I never caught the dogs a second time. They had learnt. The pack returned 2 nights later and continued their killing spree for months and this was recorded on motion sensor cameras. Here you can see the council's dog traps are too small and ineffective to capture large dogs. The 2 dogs I did capture were the only collared dogs out of the pack. If, however, I had caught uncollared dogs, they would have been considered by biosecurity wild dogs, which is considered a Class 2 pest and to be disposed of. If a dog attacks or kills and is not microchipped, the owner can claim it is not their dog and therefore escape responsibility for their dog's actions and any liabilities. So I heard all of the attacks. I saw the packs of dogs. I know what happened. I documented and reported it to authorities. There are no ambiguities. No action has been taken. What are we to make of this? And still I hear the killers barking, whilst each night in the protected wet tropics the family of cassowaries' bodies decompose on the forest floor. I make no excuse for being distressed and alarmed about this, and are all the more so in the case of the southern cassowary. This is my story, but it's not my story alone. All over the wet tropics, many people have shared similar heartache at witnessing the loss of wildlife they've come to know and to love, and the frustration at the failing laws entrusted to protect this endangered species. Mahogany gliders, tree kangaroos, quolls, bilbies, musky rat kangaroos are all in danger. And it's not isolated to the wet tropics. It stretches right across the Australian landscape. The culture of owning large dogs has the potential to radically change our way of life and is creating a dangerous feral pest. An army sergeant said to me, "A pig dog is like a landmine. They are indiscriminate, unpredictable, and they're designed to kill. They have no place in the Australian landscape." Roaming dogs also rob us of our civil rights and our social freedoms. We do have a right to feel safe in our natural environment. Emotion in the appreciation and the consideration of nature is all too frequently scorned by bureaucratically minded as a convenient but devious means of dismissing, thus avoiding, valid argument by persons with pertinent knowledge and understanding of the issues. I am concerned by the threat of a feral future and the loss of our irreplaceable wildlife that is our natural and national heritage. I remember when I lived with a family of wild cassowaries. Thank you.